Well, my name is Milo Butt Stinks. Could be. What would happen if I replaced this flame cage, this air filter cage here that comes in this 4-stroke with the screen in it to avoid backfires and letting your air filter on fire? What if I replace that with this? 15 bucks. It's the 2-stroke cage from KTM. No screen. This is the same thing that Twin Air sells for 180 bucks, which is made of aluminum, but the same shape for 180 bucks. Claiming these big power increases. And it looks something like this. Well, do you want to know? Do you really want to know what happens on this 24500 EXC with our power bundle that makes big power, the 65 horsepower? Well, the first run on here is with the flame cage. The second run is with the 2-stroke cage. You won't be able to tell the difference to save your life. It's a little fuzzy. That's my fault. But hey, you can watch it go up. See if you can even tell the difference. Here we go. Well, if you saw that and you feel like you got ripped off for 180 bucks, well, you kind of did. I apologize for that. Now, if you spent 15 bucks on this thing, I don't feel that you got ripped off. Down low, a bigger bike it can use something like that. So those bikes have a lot of volumetric efficiency. They make a lot of power right there in the mid-range, 6 to 8,000, which means they have a lot of intake vacuum right there, which leads to the high volumetric efficiency, which leads to the most amount of torque and power right there. So it's going to process through that small restriction. You're probably not going to see that. Below that area in the RPM range, you're not going to be processing as much air, so that small restriction could hurt things. And then by getting rid of it, you may feel like a kind of a cleaner, snappier power, but that's about all you're going to get out of the big bikes. Small bikes, 250, 300. Well, there you might feel some increase mid to top. You probably won't feel it down low because they don't process much air down low, and it means that small restriction isn't even going to factor into things. But when you start moving some air at a higher RPM limit on those bikes, the 250s and 350s, it might stifle it there, and opening it up, you might get a gain. I don't know. I don't have those bikes here to test, but long story short, if you spent 15 bucks, you did fine. 180 bucks, yeah, you didn't do so great. Okay, past that, now let's just rip this side panel off this bike and really let this dude breathe. And you know what I'm going to do is I'm not even going to run it with the cage. I'm going to put, or the open cage, I'm going to put the screen one back on and see what just this does. I can see myself in this camera, and I realized, man, I really smashed my face into something. It does not look good, so sorry about that. That was free. That was just a great little horsepower gain for free. Now, if you were doing that in the dirt, of course you would suck. Quite a bit more dirt onto your filter, opening the airbox up. You're not going to take the lid off in the dirt, but you could put some more holes in it, or you do have the trap door up here on the top of the air filter thing that you could push out with a screwdriver or pick out, and that's an easy way to let more air into it. Of course, if you're snow biking on a 450, you're processing some air. You're probably already open anyhow, so you probably already know that works. It's nice that it didn't change the air-fuel ratio, though, if you saw that line going across the bottom. Now, if you're on a smaller bike, it's probably not going to do near as much because you're not moving that much air like the big bikes. So I probably would just go ahead and leave it alone. Now, on the Pin It channel, if you haven't subscribed to that yet, things like this are kind of what we're in the middle of now. Just got done with some of the basics that it takes for a motorcycle to work. Now we're going to get into air movement, what it takes for air to move from one aspect of an air, one area to another. Pressure differences, which is a big thing on these motors, and to kind of help you understand how things are working. So, hey man, you might want to go over there and check it out and see what's going on. I'm now going to go eat. I haven't eaten all day. I apologize. I did try to eat at lunch, but it was at McDonald's, and I ate a kid's meal, and the kid got real bent out of shape about it, so I had to give him his meal back, and I had to give the toy back to smooth things over with the mom. And I probably told you that a few years ago, but still funny. All right. Have a great night. Appreciate you. Talk to you next week.